you guys feel help you?
A lot of lessons learned from Sunday's game. Mainly being mentally tough and physically tough. I think it was that stretch where we got maybe 2 points and they got those 2 big transition points. First, it was mentally tough being back. I mean, just give it your all, even if you're tired, just to not be able to let those points happen. And physically tough, they got a lot of second chance points. That's what we knew that a lot of their points came off of, and we just had to box out better. And we weren't really that. We got on bodies, but we weren't physical to push them out. They pushed us under a lot of times. I think happened to me a few times. So just in the ACC, you got to be a lot tougher. We were tough, but we had to be tougher.
Mark was talking after the game about hoping to manage your minutes in a lot of ways, make sure you're not playing too much. Have you sensed that you're maybe not quite at full game shape at this stage? Is that an issue you think at all?
I think so. I played so many minutes. I feel like I played the whole season already. I'm really hard on myself because I'll be thinking, man, I can't do this, I can't do that. But at the end of the day, I've only played 5 games, and everybody else is at about 15, 16. So I still like a catch-up process, and I'm still trying to feel my way in. And that's one thing Coach and I talked about, is you want to bring some of my minutes down, just so my legs could be fresher at the end of games. I felt like my shot was getting really tight just because my body is so tired at the end of games that I'm just trying to push through. And in the games, I don't really feel tired because your adrenaline and stuff like that is rushing, but he said you can see it, and so he's going to try to bring some of my minutes down, which I don't really want to happen, but I don't have a problem with it at all.
I was going to say, is it hard to kind of come to grips with the idea that maybe you're not as ready as you think you are, or would like to think you are, something like that?
Not at all, because the next morning I feel it, so I don't have a problem at all with some minutes.
Sunday being your first road game, do you think that made you guys a better team, kind of going on the road in the ACC and now coming back home for your first ACC game at home?
I think so. Being on the road at NC State, it was definitely a big test for us. I thought we handled it pretty well, being such a young team, and being at home for so long that it's different. That was our first road game, so it's definitely a different atmosphere. I thought we hung in there. We never really gave up. We kept fighting. I think it'll help us now being back at home, and also help us in the upcoming weeks when we go back on the road to know what to expect, and just know that you got to be a lot tougher on the road because you're not going to get any calls. The crowd gets excited with every little play, so you just have to stay poised.
You look at Wake Forest, they got a lot of talented guards. Do you look forward to a challenge like that? I mean, their best players are their guards, so that's going to be a lot on you and Terrell.
I think so. I think that's part of the reason why we come to Maryland, is because being in the ACC, so it's more of a guard league. Every team has a good guard. So Lorenzo Brown played well, Scott Woodward played well for NC State, and now we have a test with C.J. Harris and Tony Chanel. So I think we'd like to bring the challenge. That's one of the main reasons we come here. So I'm excited for it every day.
What impresses you about Harris's game? What kind of sets him apart?
He plays hard. He's really crafty with the ball, smart, doesn't really make a lot of mistakes. He's been kind of the leader since he got there, so now as a junior it's really comfortable for him. He's really smart, and he pretty much kind of controls the game for them. He gets everybody where they need to be. So it's just a tough challenge. You have to stay disciplined with playing him. You have to be tough on the ball, so it's going to be a challenge for us.
Marcus talked, especially after Sunday's game, about getting Terrell to trust everybody else on the floor. How hard is he trying to do that? Because I'm sure that growing up, he's the scorer and he just did everything on his own. What can you kind of sense as the point guard in that situation?
I can see the challenge for him because you see how he scores. And any tough shot for any other normal human being is like a layup to him. He can make any shot at any time. So with that type of confidence and skill, it's harder to give it to somebody else when you know that you can do it. So I think he's trying to make the game easier for himself, and I think he's doing a good job. It's just, I know sometimes a shot that usually goes in for him, sometimes he's a little tired, or with bigger guards now, he's got to work a lot harder. So just to make it easier on himself, he's just got to trust us. But I think he's doing a good job at it. Like I say, some of the shots he makes, you can't argue with it. So.
Do you look at the numbers of assists? I know you had 8, and Maryland had 12. Do you ever look at that number and think that Maryland would be better off if you had more assists as a team?
I never really looked at the number. I think
I guess what I'm asking is, do you think Maryland as a team can do a better job sharing the ball, and is that something the coach talks about in practice?
We talk about a lot of sharing the ball, but a lot of times not even that it's sharing the ball. A lot of times we don't finish shots that we need to finish. We talk about that mostly, that we need to focus in, and shots that are, where you get fouled, we need to make the 3-point plays instead of getting to the free throw line and making 1 or 2. And we need to make every shot around the rim we need to make regardless if we get fouled or getting pushed. So I think that's one reason what contributes to the lack of assists. And then I think we can probably share the ball a little bit more too. But like I said, we have a lot of talented guys that can make tough shots. So sometimes we got to live with it. But I think it's just a little bit of both. That we need to finish and we need to share the ball a little bit more too.
What else, Gay?
5 games back for you. What do you feel is working better than you expected? What do you feel isn't working as well as you would like to?
I think I turned the ball over a lot. I think that's just me getting used to being back. I think as ACC, and it'll be easier for me to stay disciplined because I know every possession matters, so I can't really turn it over as much. I think I want to be more aggressive and try to get in the paint more to make the defense collapse. So I could kick out Terrell, Mike, and Nick and Sean. I thought I did a good job in the first half, but I kind of let up in the second half at NC State. I think that's why I had so many assists in the first half, because I was getting into the paint a lot off of our high ball screens, and I was able to drop down to James, Alex. I was able to kick out to the guards, and I think I needed to keep that attitude the whole game and try to stay in the paint. So I think that's probably my biggest goal now, is to stay in the paint as much as I can.
Mark said something about he's not sure how to read you guys yet. He doesn't know whether you all should run more or not run more. What is he, as the point guard, what has he told you about that? Has he given you any specific instructions about what he wants to see from you in that?
A lot of it changes, kind of the same. He asked me kind of if I have a feel for it, but he wants to run. But then sometimes he can't tell if we're too tired to run, or like we'll really run hard on offense, we run hard on defense. So he's not sure if we should walk it up so we can get back on defense or what. So I think it's just for the players, we have to be more mentally tough and do it on both ends. If we want to run on offense, we have to run on defense. We do a good job on offense getting on transition, but sometimes we don't do a good job getting back on D. So I think that's probably his biggest concern is if we run on offense, we'll get back on D. And I think that's just where we have to grow up and be more mature.
Since you've been back, since Alex has joined the team gameplay-wise, have you noticed the team being different in the sense that they feel like they can kind of go out all out more now that you guys are deeper on the bench?
I think so. With with adding 2 more players that shares more minutes, I think Alex and I take about 25 to 30 minutes. So it definitely gives a lot of people more breaks where Nick doesn't have to go 37 minutes, Terrell doesn't have to go 37 minutes. So we can go all out a lot more. I think also in practice, people get more reps and more rest time. So I think that it's just an effect of having 2 more bodies.
Mike gave you guys a little bit of an offensive boost there the other day. How have you seen him come along? Because he's just kind of gone through things. It doesn't seem like there's been a whole lot huge, but not a whole lot bad either in there too.
Mike's playing well. He's working really hard. I think, like I said, he's really athletic, and a lot of things come easy to him. So that's just the one hard thing is where he doesn't coach through. We make sure we push him to go hard all the time. His skill is unbelievable. So I think Mike's doing a good job with that. He can really guard the ball, really play defense, and also rebound. So I think the better you do that, the easier his offense can come. He can get out in transition and get a lot of easy baskets.